Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashata Deshatarini. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Te Namaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा. Cool. You can see my screen.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So let's pay our obeisances to Shri Shri Radha Govind and taking blessings of Srila Prabhupada. Oh, okay, not this one, I think. Okay, so yesterday we covered section A and section B of chapter 10. So today we will see section C. So we saw the Chatushloka, right? The first 10.8 to 10.11. So today in the section C, okay, I think, where is that? One second. Shit. What is happening? Okay. Okay, we'll start. Okay, so today we'll see this 10 point. So there are till 10.42 the shloka. So basically after 10.18, the opulences will start, where Krishna will start to explain about his opulences. So here from 12 to 18, we are going to see Arjuna accepts Krishna's position and requests to hear more of his opulence. So here Arjuna is going to accept the Krishna as Supreme Lord. So Arjuna refers to previous authorities, thus confirms Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Also by his own realization, prays to Krishna to hear more of his glory so that he can always think of him and remember him. Otherwise, Krishna will remain unknowable. Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Parandama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Trishaya Sarve Devarshir Naradastata Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. Anyone wants to read the translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu.
Arjuna said, "You are the supreme personality
For Supreme
of God."
Brahman. Okay, is it different in your
You
book?
are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa proclaim this of you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me.
Yes. So yesterday we saw Krishna explain that he is the causes of all causes. Even the devatas and sages, nobody knows that Krishna is the supreme Lord because he is Adi Purusha. So nobody knows. So after hearing all that from the Lord, so now we saw in the first two shlokas, 10.8 speaks about Krishna says shows his supremacy there, and then in 10.9 he says how when a pure devotee understands his position, how he engages in the service of the Lord, right? And then the next two shlokas, how Krishna reciprocates, how he gives the light of knowledge, lamp of knowledge, how he'll eradicate the ignorance from the heart of the pure devotees. So in the two shlokas, he explains that. So now after hearing that, now Arjuna wants to confirm that whether his understanding is right or not. So he is repeating the same thing, right? And then Param Purusha, everything, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, right? You are the supreme truth. And this is like, if you see, it's just like even in the school and colleges, when after teacher has taught everything, she wants to understand if the student has understood everything. And when they repeat, so if the teacher does not say anything, that means it is right, right? Otherwise, she will stop and tell that, oh, it is not right. But here also we see like Krishna, Arjuna goes on saying about the Lord, and Krishna is like accepting whatever he has told is right. Why is he doing that? This is also for our benefit. Arjuna is asking these questions so that everyone understands Krishna's supremacy, right? So we see this here. So Param Brahma, he first calls the Krishna as Param Brahma. So you all have heard the word Brahman, right? Brahman is also eternal, and usually it is mentioned to the living entity, the soul. Here Param Brahma. So Brahma means the higher. So which is the Lord, the highest truth. So Arjuna calls Krishna as Param Brahma, highest, because even in the chapter 15 we see that there are two types of people. Anyone remembers who are the two type of people which Krishna mentions? Who live in material world are called by some name, and people who live in spiritual world are called by some other name. And Krishna says he is above both of them. Anyone remembers the name? Kshara and Akshara, right? We are all Kshara. We are fallible, but the spiritual entities who live in the spiritual abode of the Lord are infallible. But Krishna says he's above that, he's Adokshaja, Param. So that is why he is Param Brahma. Okay, and then that means you are supreme truth. Param Dhama means highest destination, ultimate abode, because there are different planets and different abode, right? The devatas have a different abode, and we know we are all in the material realm. So in the all 14 planets there is Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. But then in supreme abode that is not there, which is called as Krishna's abode. And Brahma Samhita mentions about Golokanamni Nijana Damni Talecha Tasya Devi Mahesha Haridama Suteshu Teshu Tete Nichaya Vihitascha Ena Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So basically how they have been arranged, we see in the Goloka, right? Goloka chart, how on the top there is Goloka, and then the Vaikuntha Lokas or Goloka are on the top, and then comes the Shiva Dham, and then comes the Devi Dham. So how they are being arranged, right, in the spiritual sky. So similarly, so highest abode is the Krishna's abode, where one who goes there will not return, right? Pavitram. So he calls Krishna as the purest, unattained by material combination, because Krishna is above, transcendental to three modes. And he is also called as, Ishopanishad calls Krishna as Shuddham Apapa Viddham. Shuddha means pure, means anything that is corrupted, that also becomes good. And the Shuddha Apapa Viddham means coming in association with the Lord. So Krishna is a Pavitram. Paramam Bhavan. Yeah. So the absolute truth. So you are the Param Brahma. Bhavan means you in Sanskrit, right? Purusham. So you are a person, supreme person. So he confirms that he is not a light or anything. He is actually a, Krishna is a person. Shashwatam. You are eternal, means always existing. Divyam. Transcendental. Adi Devam. The original God, because rest everyone has come only after Krishna. Ajam, he is the unborn. He only comes out of his internal potency to this material world. And Vibhum, the greatest. What are we? We are Anu, and he is Vibhu, right? So basically, everyone, even in the material world, every person can maintain his own family, right? Own family, he can, and maybe he can do some help to relatives, but then he cannot do more than that. That's all is our capacity. But then Krishna is Vibhu because he is able to maintain all 84 lakh species, right? So that is why Krishna is greatest. He is able to maintain even from the smallest insect to till Brahma or everyone. So he is Vibhu. And he says Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa, all have them also accepted you as the Supreme Lord. That is why we see in Bhagavad Gita, wherever there is Krishna speaking, Vyasadeva says Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, because he knows. So all the acharyas, they know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he gives here the references. So here also, if we have to go take a footpath of Arjuna, then footsteps of Arjuna, then we should understand that how by hearing he is taking, see, right? He have accepted by the hearing of acharyas. So similarly, we also, we take this knowledge from disciplic succession. You yourself are declaring it to me. I totally accept as truth. So I take whatever you have told as completely truth. Neither demigods or demons can understand your personality. Okay. Sarvame. Okay, anyone wants to read and read this translation, you can. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, please.
Okay, Mataji. Sarvam itad graham manye yan mam vadasi kesava nahi te bhagwan vyaktim vidur deva na danava. Oh Krishna, I totally accept you as truth. All that you told me, neither the gods nor demon. Oh Lord, no thy personality. And Mataji
Next one.
10.15 is indeed
Please
you
go.
alone know yourself by your own potencies. O origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, O Supreme Person, Lord of the universe.
Yeah, thank you. So, Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. So, it is not like part of something I accept and part not. Because many people uh, take advantage of Bhagavad Gita and quote as per their requirement. No, whenever only the concept that they like, that is truth. But it is not like that. We have to take everything, whatever is Krishna has told, everything as truth. Here, Arjuna is saying that. And then, indeed, you alone know yourself, because only like Krishna, nobody can understand. Even Krishna, to understand himself, when Radharani loves, why Radharani loves him so much? He don't know how is that feeling. So to know that, what did he do? He comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming taking as appearing in Kali Yuga, not just for giving Sankirtan yagna. That may be the external reason, but the internal reason is he want to know his own why. I mean, he comes in a mood of Radharani, so that to understand how much she loves Krishna, right? So that is why so only by his own potency he to be understood. So otherwise the other people cannot understand his supreme position. So, and Prabhupada says that in spiritual world the bliss will be, I mean, the uh, um always it is unlimited happiness. So the spiritual bliss is ever never ending. It is like the rasa will always go on increasing. So that is why it is unlimited. So it can never be measured. We cannot limit Krishna that this is much is there. So it is unlimited. Okay. Yes, Hare Krishna. Okay, this is just one line. Maybe I'll read. Vaktumarhasi asheshena divya hyatma vibhutayah yabhir vibhutibhirlokan imam swam vyapya tishtasi. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulence by which you pervade all these worlds. So why Arjuna is asking basically, otherwise what we think like Krishna is there in somewhere in the spiritual world and I am alone here in this material world, right? We may get that feeling that how can I understand the Lord? He's somewhere else. So that is why, so that if we understand around us also Krishna is there. He's not just in the supreme world, but also he's there in me as Paramatma and also in every atom. Right? Andantarastam Paramanu Chayantarastam Brahma Samhita Lord Brahma says. So he's there also even in the atom. Not just that. And how can we see? This is only a few of opulences which Krishna is going to explain in this chapter, because otherwise his opulences are unlimited. No? So just to understand whatever how the general thing is, like anything you see beautiful in this world, or any good quality a person has, anything which is appreciable or it is so beautiful, then that should be understood as Krishna. So only few things Krishna is going to explain here. Katam vidya aham yogin tam sada parichintayan keshu cha bhaveshu chintayosmi bhagavan maya. O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you and how shall I know you? In various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead. विस्तरेणात्मनो योगं विभूतिं च जनार्दन भूय कथय तृप्तिर्हि शृण्वतो नास्ति मे मृतम्. O Janardana, again please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I'm never satisfied in hearing about you. For the more I hear, the more I want the taste of the nectar of your words. So here, keshu cha bhaveshu means here actually particularly mentioning to the materialistic person who, like, the person is not able to put his mind in the remembering Krishna, right? So that person, how can he remember the Lord? So that even by seeing your opulences, they can remember the Lord. So amrutam, shrunvato nasti me amrutam means never I get tired of hearing the transcendental subject of the subjects about Krishna. I think these two are same. So now Arjuna requests to hear more about Krishna's glories. Please describe in detail the mystic opulence of your, power of your opulence. I'm never satiated in hearing about you. See, we for the more we hear in material world, whatever we hear, we become satiated, right? To the point like you can't hear more than that. If the same thing, if somebody is telling you, or it happens, especially with the elders, right? Whatever they had in experience, or maybe especially in retired age, they want somebody to listen, and they may many times they will be repeating the what has happened in the past, or could be something bad, something happened in their life, or that keeps on telling, right? So but then we can't hear that more. It will become not only that, and also if you take any books also, materialistic books or any novel, these things you can't read that more. You feel exhausted. But then but when we about Krishna, how many times we read also, we hear, we won't feel that. right? Because the subject matter is transcendental. So that is why here he says, I want to taste the nectar of your words. So what is the advantages of hearing Lord Krishna? So hearing increases the remembrance. So more and more hear, whatever we hear, whatever thought come to our mind, that only come to our remembrance, right? That only will become our memory. More and more, whatever you hear, that will go into your mind and it will stay in your memory. So always think of Krishna. It leads to always think of Krishna. So one is never satiated by hearing about Krishna. There is a reference where Shaunakadi Rishi tells to Sutta Goswami. We'll see that in next slide. Thus, by remembering Krishna, one can relish a great nectar. Can someone read? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, I am reading.
Hmm.
A similar statement was made to Sutta Goswami by the Rishi of Saranya, headed by Sokanya. That statement is Vayam tu na vitapyama uttama shloka vikrame yach charanabhatam rasa jnanam swadu pade pade. One can never be satiated even though one continuously hears the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, who is glorified by excellent prayers. Those who have entered into the transcendental relationship with Krishna relish at every step of description of the pastime of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.119. Thus, Arjuna is interested in hearing about Krishna and specifically how he remains as the all-pervading Supreme Lord from purport 10.818. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, why Arjuna wanted to hear more about all-pervading opulence of Krishna. Arjuna is already satisfied with understanding of Krishna and has no doubt about Krishna's position. So it is not that because he is an eternal associate. We all know that Arjuna is an eternal associate of the Lord, and he is also protected. In the 16th chapter, Krishna says that Daivim Prakriti Marshita, you are protected by the divine energy. My divine energy means he is already protected by internal potency of the Lord because he is a eternal associate of the Lord. But why is he asking all these questions is because for us, for people of Kali Yuga, for people who may have doubts that if Krishna is God or not, or then if God means what should be the qualification? There can be imposters who may say that I am God, right? So for that he is asking all these questions. Otherwise he don't have any doubts. For the sake of common people, for sake of a materialist, yeah, so that how else he can see God in the universe. For personal absorption, Arjuna wants to know, how shall I constantly think of you? To taste the nectar, wants to hear more and more, taste the nectar of words. Section D, Krishna describes the most prominent among his limitless, all-pervading opulences, names his opulences, and then explains that these opulences simply indicate a fraction of his glory because he pervades and supports the entire universe with a mere fragment of his total potency. Okay, Mataji, you can continue.
Yes, Mataji. Anta te kathayisyami दिव्याह्यात्म विभूतय प्राधान्यता कुरु श्रेष्ठ नास्त्यन्तो vistarasya me. Translation. The blessed Lord said, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestation, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So it is not easy to understand for us because to our brain, whatever is possible to understand, that much Krishna is giving us, right? So it is said that 82 opulences are being told by Krishna in this chapter. Okay, anyone else?
Shall I continue, Mataji?
Yeah, okay.
अहमात्मा गुडाकेश सर्वभूताशयस्थितः अहमादिश्च मध्यं च भूतानामन्त एव च. Translation: I am the super soul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Krishna is the creator, and he's the maintainer, and is the annihilator, right? All the three stages. So he says Krishna is the super soul. He's there in heart of everyone. So many places Krishna says that I am the super soul and I'm seated in heart of all the living entities. Okay. Now it's all opulences where Krishna says what is Krishna in what, right? Who is Krishna in what? So Adityanamaham Vishnuhu Jyotisham Ravirash Amshumam Marichirmarutamasmi Nakshatranam Aham Sashi. Of the Adityas I am Vishnu, of lights I am radiant sun, of the Maruts I am Marichi, and among the stars I am the moon. Vedanam Sama Vedosmi Devanam Asmi Ved Vasavaha Indriyanam Manaschasmi Bhutanam Asmi Chetana. Of the Vedas, I am Samaveda. Of demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am mind. And in living beings, I am the living force, that is consciousness. 1 second. There was one more slide which. Okay, it's coming later. Okay. There are some explanation for each of this. So we'll just read this and we can. Rudranam Shankarashchasmi. Okay. So Rudrana means it explains like why Krishna is Samaveda, right? So we'll see that explanation later. Rudranam Shankarashchasmi Vittesho Yaksharakshasam Vasunam Pavakaschasmi Meru Shikarina Maham. Of the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. And you all know, like out of when it is Brahma's anger, the Rudras were born, right? In that Rudras, Lord Shiva represent Krishna. Because even Brahma Samhita says, no, there's no difference between, very thin difference between Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva. So it says that milk turning into curd means Krishna taking the avatar of Shiva for destruction purpose. So yeah, of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of Wealth, Kuvera. Of the Vasus, I am fire, Agni, and of mountains, I am Meru. Though Lord Brahma is father of Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva's position is much higher than Brahma, because Lord Brahma is a living entity, but Lord Shiva is not a living entity. He is half of Vishnu Tattva and half Jiva Tattva. Parodhasancha Mukyam Mam Vidhi Partha Bruhaspatim Senaninamaham Skandaha Sarasamasmi Sagaraha. Of priest Arjuna, know me to be the chief Bruhaspati. Of generals, I am Kartikeya, and of bodies of water, I am ocean. So how all we can see Krishna, right? Oh, anyone wants to read? You can. It's all more like reading only, so there is not much explanation here. Anyone
Yes,
wants to
Mataji.
read? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Of the great sages, I am Bhargo of vibration, and I am transcendental Om. Of sacrifice, I am the chanting of the holy names, Japa. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Bhagavad Gita 10.25. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So vibration, Krishna says that I am the transcendental Om and Yagnanam Japa Yagnosmi. I am the chanting of holy name. That is why. So Krishna is in the Nama Rupa. In Kali Yuga, Krishna has come in the form of name. No, the chanting itself is that is why we chant the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there's no difference between Krishna and Krishna's name. It has the same potency. So yes, Mataji, continue.
Yes, Mataji. Of horses know me to be the
Jaishrava.
Uchasrava produced during the churning of the ocean of nectar of lordly elephants. I am Airavata, and among men I am the monarch. Hare Krishna.
So you all know the past tense, right? Anyone knows what was the past tense? The churning of ocean of nectar between who and who, and then which incarnation
Devatas
of
and
God?
Rakshasa.
Asuras and
Asuras.
Devtas.
Yeah, Asuras and Rakshasas. And which incarnation of God came that time? Which was the who was the Lord? Mantana. Which avatar of the Lord came for Samudra Mantana? Who was supporting that? The Mantana.
Tortoise.
Yeah, tortoise.
Tortoise.
Yeah, Kurma Avatara, no? Kurma
Yeah.
Avatara of the Lord. Yes. So he had given a support as a base, no? Krishna. And then, and who was the rope? Rope was used as what? What was used as rope? For,
Basuki.
Vasuki.
yeah, yes. And then, yeah. And a churning rod was, what was churning rod? Because for doing manthan, there is a like pot is required, that rod is required, and the thread. So what was that used? The rod was used as what? The support. Because initially when that,
Tortoise.
no, tortoise was the support.
Marathi Meru Parvat.
Meru Parvat, yes.
Yeah.
Meru
Not,
Parvat.
no, it is Mandara mountain. Mandara. Yeah. Mandara mountain was used as support. So basically it was, it sank. It was said when they were doing the churning, the complete Mandara Parvat, I mean, there was no support. It sank, and then Lord has to bring that for support. Then they were able to do that manthan, right? So then there were so many things had come out. So in that, Ucheshrava represents Krishna. So of and then yeah, among men I am monarch. So actually, king represents Krishna, and his duty is to bring people to Krishna consciousness. Yes.
Of weapons, I am the thunderbolt. Among cows, I am the Surabhi. Of causes for procreation, I am Kandarpa, the god of love. And of serpents, I am Vasuki.
Yes. Continue, Mataji.
Of the many hooded Nagas, I am Ananta. And among the aquatics, I am the demigod Varuna. Of departed ancestors, I am Aryama. And among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, the lord of death.
Yes.
Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahlada. Among subduers, I am Time. Among beasts, I am the lion. And among birds, I am Garuda.
Yeah. So on the Daityas, though he is a pure devotee of Lord, right? Prahlad Maharaj, and he's also one of the Mahajans, 12 Mahajans. Prahlad Maharaj also is one of the who has understood Supreme Lord that comes in Bhagavatam. So Prahlad Maharaj represents Krishna, and anything, nothing, I mean, time takes away everything, no? So that is why Krishna is the time. Kalosmi, Krishna says, I am Kala in chapter 11, right? I think in the next chapter is chapter 11. So among beasts, I am lion, and among birds, I am Garuda.
Of all creations, I am the beginning and the end, and also the middle, O Arjuna. Of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self, and among logicians, I am the conclusive truth.
Yeah, continue, Mataji.
Of letters, I am the letter A, and among compound words, I am the dual compound. I am also inexhaustible time, and of creators, I am Brahma.
Yeah, inexhaustible time, that is in a spiritual world, right? So time is eternal. Here only we have time, past, present, future. But in eternal world, that is supreme abode, there is no time. Yes, and of creators, I am Brahma.
I am all devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience.
Yeah. So in women, if these qualities are seen, then that is Krishna. Fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Yes, Mataji. Famous.
Om Bhurбhuva:svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Of the hymns in the Samaveda, I am the Brihad Sama, And of poetry, I am the Gayatri. Of months, I am Margasira, November to December. And of seasons, I am flower bearing spring. I am also the gambling of seeds and of the splendid. I am the splendor. I am victory. I am adventure, and I am the strength of the strong.
So gambling, Krishna is the cheater of cheats. So nobody can cheat Krishna. Krishna will cheat in a way that that person will not even understand how he got cheated. So we can never try to cheat Krishna.
Of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudeva, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Of the sages, I am Vyasa, and among great thinkers, I am Usana.
Ushana. Yeah, so see how great is the position of Arjuna, right? Krishna represents him. And Ushana is, what is the other name? Ushana? Who was the guru, Daitya guru of Prahlad? I mean, yeah, all the demons. Shukracharya.
Shukracharya.
Yeah, Ushana. Yes, Mother.
Among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I am the wisdom. Nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam paratapa esa tude sata prokto vibhutir visataro maya. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences.
Yeah, so now Krishna has explained all his opulences. And so he declares that there is no end. Only few of them have been mentioned. Okay. Anyone else want to read? Can read. So here it explains. Yeah.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, please go ahead.
The mantras of Samveda.
Start from why does Krishna?
Okay, Mataji. Why does Krishna compare himself to the Samveda? The mantras of Samveda are chanted musically, so they are especially pleasing to the gods. Wait, Mataji, 1 second.
Okay.
To the gods more than the mantras of the other Vedas, which is why Krishna compares himself to the Samveda. Sama denotes that which brings equipoise or tranquility to the mind. The Samaveda is rich with beautiful songs played by the various demigods. One of the songs is the Bharat Sama, which has an exquisite melody and is sung at the midnight. The leader of the Yakshas and Rakshasas is Kubera, the master treasurer of the demigods, and he is the representation of the Supreme Lord. Meru is a mountain famed for its rich natural resources. Indra is the chief demigod of the heavenly planets and is known as the king of the heavens. The planet on which he reigns is called Indraloka. Brihaspati is Indra's priest, and since Indra is the chief of the kings, Brihaspati is the chief of all priests. Himalayas are the greatest mountains in the world. Mount Meru is sometimes movable, but the Himalayas are never movable. As such, the Himalayas are greater than Meru. The banyan tree is one of the highest and most beautiful trees, and people in India often worship it as one of their daily morning rituals. Amongst the demigods, Narada is the greatest devotee in the universe. Thus, he is the representation of Krishna as a devotee. The Gandharva planet is filled with entities who sing beautifully, and among them, the best singer is Chitrarakha. Among the peaceful living entities. Mataji, I cannot see the text written
Okay,
at the end.
I'll continue.
Okay,
So among the perfect living entities, Kapila, the son of Devahuti, is a representative of Krishna. He is considered an incarnation of Krishna, and his philosophy is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So we know now why Krishna is called as Samaveda. Anyone can tell why Krishna is called as Samaveda? What is it saying here?
Mataji, because Samveda is most smoothing of all the Vedas.
Yeah, so it brings tranquility to the mind. No, Sama means bringing. So that is why any of the Krishna likes so much the Vedas and these things, because the chanting gives him so happiness, and even by that is why these mantras are not ordinary. So this has a direct connection to the spiritual world. So these are all the mantras are transcendental. Yeah. So anyone has any doubts in this, or we can go next? We have some more pages like this. You can, if you want, you can take the screenshot of it. You can take a screenshot and you can check it later. Shall I proceed?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, please continue.
The thunderbolt, a mighty weapon, represents Krishna's power. In Krishna Loka, cows can be milked at any time. Give as much milk as one desires. These are Surabhi. Lord is engaged in herding the Surabhi cows.
Yeah. So in Brahma Samhita speaks about the Surabhi cow. So there are thousands of cows. I mean, the spiritual world is full of that milk of Surabhi cows. It is, and they are like, and there are also desire fulfilling, right? But anyone knows that shloka? Chintamani prakara sadma sukalpa vriksha laksha vriteshu surabhi rabipalayantam. And Krishna is a cowherd boy, right? He's taking care of those cows. That's what he's mentioned here. Krishna Loka, cows can be milked at any time. Yeah.
Kandarpa is the sex desire for begetting good sons, children. Sex for sense gratification does not represent Krishna. Diti, yes, Mataji.
Yeah, continue.
Diti and Aditi are two sisters. The sons of Aditi are called Adityas, and the sons of Diti are called Daityas. All the Adityas are devotees of the Lord, and all the Daityas are atheistic. Prahlad, born in the family of the Daitya, as he was a great devotee of Krishna from his childhood, is considered to be a representative of Krishna. As soon as yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So there's no rules, right? Like anyone can, even Narada Muni, who was born as a maid servant, he became a Narada Muni. So similarly here also Prahlad, though he was born in a demon family, he became a great devotee of Lord. So there is no, I mean, Krishna is equal to everyone. Whoever surrenders to Krishna and they become devotee, anyone can take any position. So this initially, like Devatas and demons were born from Diti and Aditi, right? Aditi was mother of all Devatas, right? And Diti was for all demons. Yes. Yeah, who was the famous demons who were born out of Diti? The twin brothers.
Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha.
Yeah, yes, true. Good. So those two are born of Diti, right? Yes.
As soon as a man is born, he dies at every moment. But the last stroke is called death itself. That death is Krishna. Of the 6 basic changes the living entity undergoes, birth, growth, remaining for some time, reproducing, dwindling, and finally vanishing. Birth/deliverance from the womb is Krishna. The Gayatri Mantra mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam is regulated poetry chanted by the qualified Brahmanas. It is the most prominent as it is specially meant for God realization. It represents the Supreme Lord. This mantra is meant for spiritually advanced people who, on chanting it, can enter the transcendental position of the Lord. This mantra is the sound incarnation of Brahman. Its initiator passed down from him in disciplined succession. Very
Yeah,
important
even
with explanation. Yes, Mataji.
yeah. So this whoever takes initiation also, this is being taught. So Gayatri Mantra, whoever takes even in ISKCON, right? In our Sampradaya, Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. So the Guru will give this mantra first. The Gayatri Mantra will be taught, right? And the whoever initiated devotees along with this whatever we chant Hare Krishna mantra, they also chant this Gayatri Mantra. Yes.
But females will not chant, Mataji. I mean,
Everyone, whoever initiated in ISKCON. Yes. Anyone else want to continue or later on continue? Okay, you can continue.
Okay, Mataji. Grains are collected during November, December. It's considered, and people are very happy.
So this question many times comes. Like, why is Krishna says I represent November and December? No? So the answer is here. Because the grains are collected during this month and people are usually happy, because Krishna represents happy, no? Like whoever hears about Krishna art itself, they'll be happy. So he's unlimited, he's blissful. So that is why these months represent Krishna, November and December. Yes.
Spring neither too hot nor too cold, and the trees are blooming with flowers and foliage. Many ceremonies commemorating Krishna's pastimes are celebrated. As most joyful of all seasons, it represents the Supreme Lord Krishna.
So basically, anything that is beautiful is Krishna, we can conclude, right? Yeah.
Amongst the son of Pandu, Arjuna, famous as Dhananjaya, is best of men, and therefore represents Krishna.
Mm.
Among the Munis, Vyasa is the greatest, as he explained Vedic knowledge in many different ways for the understanding of the common mass of people in this age of Kali. He is also an incarnation of Krishna.
Yeah, so Vyasadeva, so initially the Vedas were one. He divided into four, so that in Kali Yuga he knew, because he was he's also a Saksha avatar, no? So he knew how the Kali Yuga will be, so he could see the defects of Kali Yuga, and then he made it easy for the people. Can you please unmute somebody? Yeah. So that is why he made the Vedas into four, right? So, and then even the Mahabharata also is called as fifth Veda, Panchama Veda. Mahabharata is also being called. So, yeah. So he, where were you? Yeah, for common understanding, because what is said about Kali Yuga? Prayena alpayu kale asmin yuge jana manda sumandamatayo mandabada upadrita. So in Kali Yuga, people are very dull-headed, unintelligent, and alpayu. Alpayu means very less. I mean, years they'll be living. Because if you say in Satya Yuga, how many years people used to live in Satya Yuga?
Mataji, 1 lakh years?
Yeah, and then when it came to Treta Yuga, it was how
10,000,
many years? Yeah, and then in Dwapar Yuga.
100.
1,000 years.
Yeah,
1,000.
1,000. Yeah. So 110 less, no? So Kali Yuga had become 100. But now also we see at current rate, I think living for 70 years or 80 must be a big thing, right? People, that is very big thing. Before that, only people get diseases. But earlier, people used to live more longer. And as the Kali Yuga advances, it will be even more decreasing. It is said by the end of Kali Yuga, only 20 years will be the highest. The person will become old by the age of 20 years. Can't even imagine how that would be. Yeah. So Krishna represents Vyasa. Yes, continue. Kavis.
These are those who are capable of thinking thoroughly on any subject matter. Among the Kavis, Usana Sukracharya was the spiritual master of the demons. He was an extremely intelligent and far-seeing politician. Thus, Sukracharya is another representative of the opulence of Krishna.
Yeah. So Shukracharya is also known as Ushana Kavi. So he is a representation of Krishna. Yes.
Punishing of the miscreants represents Krishna.
Yeah.
The victorious element of victory is morality.
Yeah. Continue.
Among hearing, thinking, and meditating, silence is most important because it helps to progress very quickly.
Yeah.
The knowledge of the voice, who can discriminate between matter and spirit, between God's superior and inferior natures, is Krishna.
Yeah. The knowledge, the real knowledge is what? Which can discriminate the matter and spirit, right? So between God, superior and inferior nature, that also represents Krishna. So Krishna says, I am spiritual knowledge of all the knowledge. Sorry. So Krishna's unlimited opulence, so which has been divided into so these are all who all come under demigods, you see, right? And then sages. So who are all sages who comes? So you can see of the demigods, under demigods, of all the demigods, Indra, Aditya's Vishnu, Marut's Marichi, Rudra's Shiva, Yakshas and Rakshasas Kuvera, Vasu's Agni, generals Kartikeya, Gandharvas Chitraratha, creators Brahma, Daitya demon Prahlada, dispenser of law Yama, departed ancestors Aryama, causes of procreation Kandarpa. So they are all demigods. And then who are all sages? Of all sages, I am Vyasa. Great sages Bhrigu, sages among demigods, Narada Muni, priest Brihaspati, perfected being sage Kapila, great thinkers Ushana. So all these are great sages. And then demigods. So light, radiant sun. So sun and moon all are demigods. Stars, moon, mountain Meru, immovable Himalaya, water bodies, ocean, trees, banyan tree, purifies wind, Varuna Deva, right? Flowing rivers, Ganges, creation, I am beginning and end, months, Margashira, season, spring, I am exhaustible time, no beings moving or non-moving can exist without me. I don't know why, how this is a demigod. No beings moving or non-moving can exist without me. Not sure. Philosophical truth. So I am super soul in all living entities, living beings, living force, that is consciousness. Senses, Krishna represent mind. I am the beginning, middle, and end of all beings. I am generating seed of all existence. I am generating principle of all that is yet to be. In poetry, Gayatri, letters A, compound words, dual compound. Science, spiritual science of self. Logicians, conclusive truth. Hymns in the Samaveda. And in animals, Krishna represents in horse, Uchchaishrava, lordly elephants, Airavata, cows, Surabhi, serpents, Vasuki, many-hooded Naga is Ananta, aquatis demigod, Varuna, fishes, shark, beast, lion, birds, Garuda. And in law and crime division, subduers is time, wielder of weapon, Rama. Rama is not Lord Rama, it's a weapon. Cheats, gambling, means of suppressing lawlessness, punishment, weapons, thunderbolt. I am all devouring death. So, in the qualities, Krishna is wise, wisdom, secret things, silence. Those who seek victory, morality, splendid splendor, women, fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. So, I am adventure, I am victory, I am strength of the strong. Then humans and kings, what is that? Pandavas, Dhananjaya or Arjuna, and in men, monarch, that is king, descendants of Vrishni, Vasudeva, that is himself, Krishna. Vedic mantras, what was that first one? I can't see. Maybe Gayatri, I think. And then transcendental poem, sacrifices, chanting of holy name, Veda, Samaveda. Okay. Okay, anyone want to read? I think
Yes,
this,
Mataji.
yeah.
Ikchapi sarvabhutanam bijam tad aham arjuna na tad asti vinayatsyan maya bhutam characharam. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without me.
Yeah.
O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor.
Yeah.
So
So,
I mean,
yes, Mataji. Yeah. So here, this picture, anyone knows what was this? When was this happening? During what? What is happening here?
Mataji, cosmic destruction.
Yeah. And yeah, so Markandeya Rishi was said to, he has seen this, what was happening, because he remained alive for 7 kalpas. No? So he had that boon to remain alive for 7 kalpas. And when during one, that destruction of after 1 kalpa, he was seeing that Krishna was tasting his own toes, right? because all the devotees, they want to become dust of his feet. So he wanted to see why do they want to come to, why do they, what is there in my toes, right? Krishna is seeing. So yeah, Krishna says everything beautiful is just a spark of his splendor. Yes. Yes, Mataji.
I think I missed to read that sloka, Mataji, in the previous slide. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam srimad ujitam ivava tad ivava gacha tvam mama tejom sa sambhavam. Know that all beautiful, glorious, and mighty creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Yeah.
The last sloka.
Yeah. Athava bahunaitena kim gnatena tvarjuna vistambyaham idam krishnam ekam sena stito jagat. But what we need there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge, with a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe.
Yeah. So Ekam Shena. Here it refers to whom is Krishna referring here? That Eka Amsha. With my one Amsha, right? I'm able to pervade the complete universe. So Krishna, we know, like Krishna's expansions, no? And from Krishna, who is the first expansion? Balram. So Balram expands. Anyone knows the this how it comes? The sequence. Krishna expands to Balram and then
Balram to Sankarshana. From Sankarshana to Narayana. I think
yes. Correct.
from
Correct.
Narayana to Mahavishnu, from there to Garbhodaka.
Second Sankarshana. From Narayana to second Sankarshana. There again, that 4 quadruple expansions are there. No, in Sankarshana means the 4: Aniruddha, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, and who is the one more? Aniruddha, Vasudeva, Sankarshana,
Mataji Pradyumna.
Pradyumna. Yeah, Pradyumna. So those 4. So from second quadruple expansion comes the Mahavishnu. So Mahavishnu and then expands to Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu, and then he expands to Kshirodaka Shai Vishnu. So here Krishna is speaking about Kshirodaka Shai Vishnu. So just one of my expansion is able to manifest in this complete universe. No, so why Krishna is saying, like, how we can understand that Krishna is not really situated very far in the spiritual world, but then he is very much around us. He is near to us, and he is there, pervaded entire universe. He's not just here, but he is in every atom. So what will happen by remembering this? So we will develop that affection towards the Lord, because out of his mercy he is expanded and he is there everywhere, so that we get that intimacy with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then we can relish those sweetness. So why do we need this sweetness? So that we can be fixed in devotional service, right? So why do we want to know all these opulences and these things? So that we can understand the mercy of Krishna, and we can become more fixed in devotional service. So Krishna supports and pervades the entire universe with a mere fragment of himself. So what is the conclusion of chapter 10? From Krishna's potent energy, even the sun gets its power, and by Krishna's partial expansion, the whole world is maintained. Therefore, Lord Krishna is worshipable. So even Brahma Samhita says that, no, the sun, which is the king of all planet, but then from where does it get the light and heat? It is through Krishna. So chapter 10 explains how to concentrate mind in Krishna consciousness in full devotional service by hearing different opulences and expansions of Krishna's energies. Thus, chapter 10 explains how to attain highest devotional perfection of association with Supreme Lord. Devotional service and worship of Krishna are explained in Chatushloka 10.8 to 11. So this is very important. Try to memorize this shlokas 10.8 to 10.11 Chatushloka. So with this we come to the end of the chapter summary. Yesterday we saw 10.1 to 7 Krishna's position as origin of everything, and then section B 10.8 to 11, the Chatushloka, and section C today 12 to 42. So Arjuna's acceptance and his request to Krishna to show the appliances. So this we complete. Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Mataji.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha ananta koti vaishnavrinda ki jai namacharya das thakur ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Because there were too many slides, I had to rush today. Otherwise, and there was not much of to be explained in this today. It was all more of like what represents Krishna, right? Yeah. Hare Krishna. And yes, okay, today Sushmita Mataji is not there. She was asking about the Bhakti Vriksha group, right? She will receive shortly. And the quiz, Raunak, you were asking about the quiz, no? But there are no separate quiz as such. There's only that weekly, whatever you get, or after chapter wise. No? So if you have finished till chapter 10, then that's it. You don't have any separate quiz as such. It's a chapter wise, whatever you have, that's all.
Okay, Mataji.
You will get in, I think, in level 3, that quiz may come.
Mataji, that link will be shared in this group, Bhakti Vriksha.
Yeah,
link.
you are also not there.
No, we did not get
Yeah, I
Mataji.
have requested with the admins. Okay, I have already requested. They said they will share. Once I get it, or they may also share directly in the group. You can join.
Okay.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Rameshwar Naik Prabhuji were not there for many class. Hare Krishna. So I think he was outstation or busy with some work. Didn't see him for a long time. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Okay, any questions?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Last week I asked a Panchanga Pranipat, Pranam. Could you find out the answer?
Oh, no, Mataji. So
Actually,
you want?
Mataji,
Okay.
in Google it is temple, head, forehead, knees, heart and chin. So heart is not in Panchanga Pranipat.
Okay, I will check, Mataji. I will post in the
Yes,
group
yes,
only
yes.
better. No,
Yes,
I will
Mataji.
post. Yeah, okay. And next week we don't have, as I told you. Next week there won't be classes. Okay, on Saturday, Sunday, and I'll post also in the group next week. Okay, so
I have one question, Mother. It's a clarification I'm looking for. So Lord Shiva is an incarnation of, partial incarnation of Lord Vishnu, you said, no, Mataji? He has taken an incarnation for destruction. So can Lord Shiva also get us liberated? He's not a living being, right?
no. He liberation is only possible by Krishna. That even Lord Shiva confirms.
Okay.
That only liberation possible only by Lord Krishna. No other. Nobody else can give that.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay, no other questions. Okay, shall we close then? You can say 3 times Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare,
Rama
Rama
Hare Hare.
Rama, Hare Hare,
Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.